Hello all! Today I'm going to talk to you about the listing presentation. In the second part I'm going to talk to you about, roughly how the flow of the presentation is, usually what happens in a listing presentation. Now when you go to the house, obviously you meet a stranger there, the first thing they're gonna do, and you need to ask to kind of show the house. So you kind of walk through the house and you have right away an immediate idea and the feeling of who they are. Whether they are a large family or they're a small family, they have pets, they are clean people or they are kind of not so clean. Whether they like to fix everything, or they just kind of, let the house run. So, you can really have an immediate feeling of who this person is. And then you usually end up in the kitchen table when you maybe have a seat, and then we start talking. We usually, this is kind of my philosophy, when we sat down at the table, by then we kind of exchange some, comments and some process of the house. We mainly, until then, we're just talking about the house and what works, what doesn't work, what has to be fixed. By the time then I kind of, walk them through the staging process or the cleanup of the house. And then when we sit down, we usually ask about them. What is their goal? Why are they selling? Where are they moving? Who they are? What is their situation? So then we have a much better idea of what is their motivation level, how motivated they are, what is their timeline. So usually my philosophy of listing presentation is I always ask questions, because actually it's not just them interviewing us, we are interviewing them as well, because I need to make sure that I can work with this person. Is this person is kind of in my world, and is this person is a realistic person that I can sell this house, I can sell the house, and I can deal with the seller. So it's very important. So you need to ask as many questions as possible, so you getting information and they actually sharing information. What it makes them is kind of an exchange. And then I usually ask their price. So I obviously have an idea how much the house should be listed for, and at the end of the day, how much it's gonna sell for. I'm an appraiser, so I'm pretty good at numbers. And by the time you go to a house, you did research, you drove by the house. If you haven't, seen that, neighborhood yet, you have to drive by, you have to have an idea what the house is. So when you go there, you're pretty sure of kind of the price range. And what is actually pushing down or up is the quality and kind of the interior of the house. So then I ask, okay, how much, what is their idea of the price? And then right away we know whether they're realistic or not. And if they don't want to share, then it's really kind of pushing back game, which I don't like to play. Then I'm just gonna say my number, and then once we kind of agree on that kind of range, and we agree on roughly where we stand, then we diving into more detail of the marketing, of the process, what needs to be more fixed, how is the negotiation goes, what is the escrow, the fees, the commission. But first, I don't dive into any sort of detail on there. I establish, with Blake and I, that we can kind of work with this person, with the family. Can we sell this property? And are the seller realistic and they have a realistic time frame? So until you establish, I don't think you should dive into any other detail because it's just not gonna go into the right direction. And then once you say goodbye and you feel good about it, you always have to follow up. I follow up with a handwritten note card, and it's a really nicely designed note card. So I always do send a personal message to the homeowner. Either I do it in the driveway or immediately after I come back to the office. But you have to keep touch with them, because you never know, what kind of questions they might have, and at the end of the day, hopefully they're gonna choose you. So this is my take on listing presentation, the listing folder. Goodbye.